Hey everybody, it's Kylie and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a fun tutorial for y'all. I'm going to show y'all how to crochet these granny stripe Christmas stockings. This is such a fun, quick, and fairly easy crochet pattern to make for this Christmas season, and I absolutely think they worked up adorable. I absolutely love this one, made with the different colors for each row. Since it's made with the granny stitch, you are getting the look of that granny stitch without making individual squares and having to join them. So this stocking, the only part on this stocking that you're going to have to sew or seam is a little bit here on the edge of the heel. Other than that, it's made basically in one piece and you don't have to join pieces and lots of squares. And I made one in a solid color also because I think it looks pretty, even worked up in a solid color, but I prefer the one in the stripes, but I wanted to see what it looked like, so I made both versions. So this pattern is worked from the toe up, and it's worked in rounds except for the heel is worked in rows that you turn, but we'll get more into that here in a little bit. And then I've done this really simple and easy little brim that's super easy, made a crochet hanger. You could make this in any color. If you wanted to accent one of these other colors, you totally could. But I'm going to show y'all the yarn that I used for these stockings was I Love This yarn. That you get at Hobby Lobby, which is a number 4 worsted weight yarn. The colors I used for these were ivory, cranberry, and then on this one with the green, that was forest. So those are the colors I used. So let's talk yardage for this pattern for a minute. So like I said, it's a number 4 worsted weight yarn. If you're doing the multiple striped one like this, of the forest and the cranberry or the red and green, you're going to need approximately 100 yards of each of those colors. And then for the toe, heel, and brim color, you're going to need approximately 150 yards. So it doesn't really take a lot of yarn to make the stocking, but that's what you'll need. And if you're wanting to make the solid color stocking, you'll actually need 200 yards approximately of this main color, and then like probably 100 and a quarter to 150 yards of this accent color, so not a lot. And then besides for that, you'll also need a 5mm or H crochet hook and a yarn needle and some scissors, and that's all you'll need to make this pattern. And we're going to go ahead, jump right into it, and get started on this granny stripe crochet Christmas stocking. So to start this pattern, like I said, it's worked from the toe up, and the very beginning starts with a magic circle or a magic ring. So I'm going to show you how to make that. It's really not as hard as some people think it is. So for a magic circle or ring, you want to take your tail of yarn to your left and your working yarn to the right, and then you're just going to make a little loop like so. So the tail is under and the working yarn is over. And then you're going to take your crochet hook and you're going to go under, pull it up, and like basically pull up a loop, and you will chain 1 to secure that magic circle or magic ring. They're the same thing. They're called by 2 different names, but the exact same thing. And that is how you make a magic circle. And then after you put your stitches in it, you can pull the tail to close the hole, so you won't have a hole at the end of the toe. So for round 1, we're going to work 14 double crochet into this magic circle. Okay, after you've made 14 double crochet in the magic circle, you're going to pull the tail and close the end of it, and you're going to slip stitch into the first double crochet of the round, and you'll have 14 stitches. And you want to make sure when you weave your ends in that you knot this tail of yarn, because if you do not knot it, then your stocking, this ring, will have a potential to come open and you'll have a hole in the end of your stocking, and you do not want that. So make sure you knot that end when you weave it in. Going on to round 2, we're going to chain 2 stitches. This does not count as a double crochet, and we're going to double crochet in 1 stitch, 2 double crochet in the next, and we're going to repeat that around. So we're going to work the 2 there. So we're going to work 1 double crochet in the next stitch, 2 double crochet in the next stitch, and you're going to repeat that all the way around. Double crochet, 2 double crochet. After you finish round 2, you're going to slip stitch into the very first double crochet of the round, the first stitch, And after round 2, you should have 21 stitches. Going on to round 3, we will chain 2. We're going to double crochet in 2 stitches. 1, 2. And then we're going to work 2 double crochet in the next stitch. And we're basically going to repeat that around. So double crochet in 2 stitches. And 2 double crochet in the next stitch. And then after you get back to the beginning on round 3, you're going to slip stitch into that first double crochet, join the round, and after round 3, you should have 28 stitches. Going on to round 4, we will chain 2. We're going to double crochet in 3 stitches. And then 2 double crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to repeat that around. So double crochet in 3 stitches. And then 2 double crochet in the next stitch, and you'll just repeat that all the way around. Okay, once you've reached the beginning again of round 4, you can slip stitch in that first double crochet. And at the end of round 4, you should have 35 stitches. Moving on to round 5, and this is the last round of our toe. We are going to chain 2, double crochet in 4 stitches. And then 2 double crochet in that next stitch, and you're going to repeat that around. So double crochet in 4 stitches, two double crochet in the next stitch, and just keep repeating that around. Okay, so at the end of round 5, you should have 42 stitches, and that is the last round of our toe. So now we're going to move on to the body section of our stocking, and we're going to start changing colors and incorporating the granny stitch. So the color, if you're doing stripes, the color pattern that you're going to repeat is green, red, cream, green, red, cream, which is the forest cranberry. So I'm going to go and change to my green yarn. So I didn't slip stitch yet to join the end of round 5, because when I slip stitch and I'm going to change a color, I like to go ahead and slip stitch with that new color, so the color just changes kind of seamlessly. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the tail here of my cream yarn. And then I'm going to join, slip stitch and join the end of round 5. And to do that, I'm going to slip stitch, but I'm going to use the green yarn to slip stitch, since that's the color I'm using for the next round. And then you can tie those and knot those, and there we go. So going on to round 6, we are going to chain 3 stitches, and this chain 3 does count as a double crochet. And then we're going to work 2 double crochet in that same stitch. So that same stitch we just slip stitched into, we're going to work 2 more double crochet, like so. And then we're going to skip 2 stitches and work 3 double crochet in the next stitch. And we're basically going to kind of just repeat that all the way around. So it's really simple. We skip 2 stitches, 3 double crochet in that next stitch. And you're going to repeat that. So skip 2 stitches, 3 double crochet the next. You'll repeat that all the way around until you have 2 stitches left. Okay, so once you reach those very last 2 stitches, you will skip them and slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. That counts as a double crochet, so just slip into that top chain to join the rounds, and this is what it will look like after round 6, and you still should have 42 stitches. Your stitch count should not change, and that's what it looks like so far. And so going on to round 7, there's 2 ways to start this next round, depending on if you're doing a solid color stocking or if you're going to change colors every row. So I'm going to show you real quick how to start round 7 if you're going to do a solid color stocking. So if you're going to do a solid color one, you're going to just simply, we already slip stitch to join this round, so to start round 7 using a solid color, you're going to slip stitch in the next 2 stitches and then slip stitch into this gap space, and then you would start round 7 like I'm fixing to show you like normal. We'll chain 3, 2 double crochets in this gap space, and that's how you'd start round 7 using a solid color. If you're going to do stripes, which I am, so I'm going to pull this back out, you're just simply going to cut your yarn and cut it like that. And I'm going to grab my next color of yarn, which is going to be the cranberry yarn. You're going to make a slip knot, and you're going to put it basically in any chain 3 gap space. It doesn't matter which chain 3 gap space you join your next color. I'm just going to pick one, so just right here. I'm going to slip stitch, join it, and then we'll start round 7. So round 7, it's very easy. It's going to be our repeat row for the next quite a few rounds. Is you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That counts as a stitch, and work 2 more double crochet into that gap space. And you're going to skip those 3 double crochets, and the next gap space, work 3 double crochet. So this is a really fairly easy pattern to do. It's not very hard at all. You're then going to skip the next 3 double crochets and 3 double crochet in the next gap space. And you're just going to do that all the way around. Okay, so when you reach back to the beginning at the end of round 7, you're going to skip those 3 double crochet, and you're going to slip stitch into the top chain of that chain 3, like so, to join the rounds. And that's what it'll look like after round 7. So rounds 8 through 16 are going to be an exact repeat of round 7. So if you need to rewind the video to watch how I started round 7, you're going to do rows 8 through 16 exactly the same as round 7. And if you're striping it, you're just going to continue to change colors. So green, red, ivory, green, red, ivory, and change colors. So I'm going to go ahead, work this up until I finish round 16, and then that's the heel section of our stocking. So I will join y'all back after I have finished round 16 and show y'all how to work at the heel. Okay, so I have finished round 16. This is what it looks like so far, and we are now fixing to do the heel portion of the pattern. I did not join this very last round because I like to go ahead and slip stitch with the new color that I'm going to use for the next round, and since it is going to be the heel, I'm going to slip stitch with the ivory to join this round. Hold that. Okay, and going on for the first row of the heel, you are going to chain 1, and you are going to single crochet in this same stitch, and then you're going to single crochet in the next 20 stitches. And I will mention that the heel is going to be worked in flat rows, so we will turn and go back and forth as opposed to rounds for just the heel section. So there we go. So there's row 1 of the heel. You should have 21 single crochets across. We are now going to go on to row 2 of our heel, and we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. So to start the second row of our heel, we are going to work a single crochet, 2 stitches together over these first 2 stitches. So to do that, we're going to insert our hook and pull up a loop, 2 loops on our hook, and then we're going to go ahead and go into the next single crochet and pull up a loop, and then we'll yarn over and pull through all 3. And that just made those 2 stitches into one, because we're going to decrease. What we're going to do is we're going to decrease the heel, and then we're going to increase back out, and we fold it over, seam it, and it forms the perfect heel. This is the best way I've found for making heels for stockings, and you'll understand it as we go on a little farther. So there we have single crochet 2 stitches together, and then we're just going to single crochet across until we reach the very last 2 stitches. So we'll just single crochet in each stitch across. Okay, once you reach those very last 2 stitches, you're going to single crochet 2 stitches together again over those 2 stitches. Okay, and that's what it looks like after the second row. So we're going to keep repeating that row until we only have 9 stitches left on our heel. So we will chain 1, turn our work. We're going to single crochet 2 stitches together. We're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch across until we reach the last 2 stitches of this row. When you reach your very last 2 stitches of the row, you're going to single crochet 2 stitches together. And we're going to just keep repeating that same row until we only have 9 stitches left. So I'm going to go ahead, keep repeating that, single crochet 2 stitches together, single crochet until your last 2 stitches, single crochet 2 stitches together, and I'm going to repeat that until I only have 9 stitches left across the top. Once I have 9 stitches left, I'll get back with y'all and show y'all what to do after that. Okay, so I have repeated that row until I only have 9 stitches left. So now we're going to go ahead and work on increasing it back out. So to start the next row, we will chain 1, turn our work, and now we're going to do the complete opposite of what we just done. Instead of decreasing, we're going to start increasing. So we're going to work 2 single crochet in this first stitch, and then we're going to single crochet in each stitch across until we reach our very last stitch. And when we reach that very last stitch, we're going to work 2 single crochets in it. So we're going to increase again. And you're basically just going to repeat this row until you have 21 stitches again. So we will chain 1, turn our work. We're going to work 2 single crochet in this first stitch. And then that very last stitch, we're going to work 2 single crochets into. So you can already see how it's starting to flare out again. So you're just going to keep repeating that row of chain 1, turn, 2 single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet across till that last stitch, and place 2 single crochet in the very last stitch. You're going to repeat that across until you have 21 stitches again. After you have 21 stitches, I will show you how to finish up the heel portion of this stocking. Okay, so here's what it looked like after you increased all the way back to 21 stitches, and it'll look like this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this yarn, and you're going to leave a pretty good length of tail because you're going to use it to seam these edges down here in a minute. So I'm going to leave a pretty good length of tail, and I'm going to go ahead and put my tail of yarn on my yarn needle, and I'm going to take my hook out and pull my yarn through there so it doesn't come undone. And now to finish the heel, all you're going to do is you're going to take this piece and you're just going to fold it down like this, and you're going to sew this edge together, And then you're going to sew this edge together, and it will literally make the most perfect heel. So I'm just going to line these edges up here like this, and we're just going to stitch them together. So nothing hard, nothing fancy. I'm just going to stitch them like so. And this is like one of the best ways I've found to make just the perfect heel for stockings. I did this technique for the heel for like all my stocking patterns that I've made so far, because I feel like it just looks really good and clean and gives a nice heel. Okay, and then what I do is if you just cut a long enough tail, you can just, I'll just kind of turn it here like so, and I'll just run my tail under some of these stitches, because this is going to be the inside of the stocking, so you won't be able to see it no way. And I'll just run it under like so. You don't want to pull it too tight, but just run it under these stitches like so. And then we're going to stitch down this side. Okay. Then after you stitch on the side, you want to knot this yarn. Sometimes I'll just grab that tail and knot it like so from the beginning. Knot that, and then you can weave those ends in. And then all you're going to do is you can push the sock or the heel inside out like that. And that is what your heel should look like. And the reason this is stretched out is because I haven't wove that end in, so it's coming out like so. But that is what your heel will look like from both sides. So yeah, and that is your heel portion of your sock. So now we'll go back to working on the body and go back to working in rounds. So now to go on to round 17, you are going to take the next color in your pattern, which for this is going to be cream, and you're going to attach your yarn in the gap space, in the first gap space to the left of your heel. So I'm going to attach my yarn here, and we're going to chain 3 and then work 2 double crochets in the same gap space. And then we're going to do like before. We're going to skip the 3 double crochets, 3 double crochets in the gap space, and repeat that all the way around. And I'm going to repeat that all the way around until I reach my heel, and then I'll show y'all how to work around the heel. Okay, so once you get back to that heel, you want to make sure you place 3 double crochet in this last gap space before the heel. So I just want to make sure y'all do that. So we'll do 3 double crochets there. And then going on to the heel, we're going to work a double crochet in the first 3 stitches of the heel. So you want to make sure you find that very first stitch of the heel, and you're going to work 1 double crochet in the first 3 stitches. And the reason we're doing it in 3 separate stitches is to help keep it from having a gap right here. I mean, there are little gaps in between these sections of 3 double crochets, but this is the way I found to work it best, where there's just about the same size gap as normal and not a bigger one, because we don't want a big hole right there. So we're going to work a double crochet in those first 3 stitches, and then we're going to kind of work more in the granny stitch pattern. So we're going to skip 2 stitches and 3 double crochet in the next stitch. And you're going to repeat this across your heel until you get to the last 6 stitches. So we're going to skip 2 stitches, 3 double crochet in that next stitch. And skip 2 stitches, 3 double crochet in that next stitch. skip 2, 3 in the next. Okay, and then you'll have reached your very last 6 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to work 1 double crochet in those last 3 stitches. Okay, so that's what it'll look like so far. And then you're just going to slip stitch in the top of that chain 3 of that first stitch of the round. Cut that yarn. And that is what it should look like at the first round after the heel, which is round 17. It should look like that right there. The other side. That's what it'll look like. Okay, and going on to round 18, you can attach your yarn, your next color, in any of the gap spaces between the 3 double crochet, and you're going to chain 3. Oops. And then you're going to work 2 double crochet in that same gap space. And then you're going to skip 3 double crochet and 3 double crochet the next gap space. And you're just going to basically repeat that around like we have been doing. So it's going back to the exact same pattern that we were following before the heel. Like for rounds 8 through 16, we're going to be doing basically the same thing here on out until we get to the brim section. You just want to make sure when you get to this part that you're just going in between every 3 double crochet. And your stitch count should always remain the same. You should always have 42 stitches at the end of every round. So we're going to go in between those sets right there at the heel. And then just keep going around. Okay, one more time. When you're ready to begin, you just slip stitch on top of that chain 3. And then that is round 18. Rounds 19 through 28, you're just going to repeat round 18. So you're going to keep just following your color pattern. And for rounds 19 through 28, repeat row 18. After you have completed round 28, I will catch back up with y'all. I'll show you how to do the brim of the stocking and the little hanger for it. And I will meet up with y'all then. So I worked all the way up and just finished round 28. This is what it looks like so far. Our toe, our heel, and working up the body of the stocking. So now we're ready to do our brim. When I finished round 28, I slip stitched with my brim color because that's always the easiest way for me, and I think it looks best. So now going on to our brim, we are going to chain 2, and this does not count as a stitch, and we're going to place a double crochet in every single stitch around. So I am just going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch around, and I will meet up with y'all after I work 1 double crochet in each stitch around. Okay, so after you've worked 1 double crochet in every stitch around, you will then slip stitch into that very first stitch of the round, and that will complete round 29. And you should still have 42 stitches. You should always keep 42 stitches through the majority of this pattern because we do not increase or decrease any on the body of the stocking. So going on to round 30, we will chain 2, and we're going to work a front post double crochet around this first stitch. So if you don't know how to do a front post double crochet, you're going to yarn over, and you're going to, instead of working into this top of the stitch like normal, you're going to work around the post of the stitch. So you yarn over, go behind the post, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then you'll have 3 loops on your hook. You'll yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull 2 through, just like a normal double crochet. And that will create kind of the ribbed, like ribbing on for the brim of the stocking. And then you're going to just double crochet, do a regular double crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to repeat that around and alternate between front post double crochet, front post double crochet, all the way around for this round. So I've front post and double crocheted. So the next stitch, we're going to do a front post. And the next one we'll do a double. The next one will be a front post. And the next one will be a double. And you're just going to repeat that all the way around. Front post. Double. And I'm going to repeat that all the way around. And you see how it's already starting to look a little bit more like ribbing. And I'm just going to repeat that all the way around. Okay, so once you reach the end of the round, you're just simply going to slip stitch into the first stitch of the round to join. And that is the end of round 30. So you see there how it's starting to look have a little bit of a ribbed look. So for rounds 31 and 32, we are just going to repeat round 30. So you are going to chain 2, front post double crochet. So we're going to front post around this front post double crochet. And then we're going to work a double crochet and repeat that around. So front post, around the front post, and then double crochet. And you're going to repeat that and finish round 31 and 32. And after you finish round 32, I'll meet back up with y'all and show y'all how to make the hanger for the stocking. And your stocking is almost done. Okay, so I just finished round 32, and you can go ahead, cut your yarn and weave in all your ends because your stocking is basically almost finished. We are I'm going to show y'all how to make the hanger for the stocking here. So you can weave on the ends on that, and the stocking part is completely finished. We're just going to make the hanger. You can use any color that you want for the hanger on the ones that I have made previously. I just used the same color as the brim, so I just used the ivory. You could do an accent color if you wanted to do the cranberry or the forest, but I'm just going to do the ivory, and the hanger is very simple to do. We're just going to make a slip knot and place it on our crochet hook. And to make the hanger, we're going to chain 5. And in the second stitch from our hook, we're going to single crochet in and single crochet in each stitch across. And that will give us 4 single crochets. And then for row 2, you'll chain 1, turn, and single crochet in each stitch across. And you're just basically going to repeat that until you have 18 rows. Stitches. So then we'll just chain 1, turn, and single crochet in each stitch. And you should always just have 4 stitches. And I'm just going to repeat that and do that until I have 18 rows done. And after 18 rows, I'm going to show y'all how I just attach it to the stocking, and then your stocking will be finished. Okay, so after 18 rows, you can cut your yarn, and you want to leave a semi-long tail because we're going to use that tail to attach it and sew it to our stocking. So I will just pull that through there, and I'm gonna put my yarn needle on my tail of yarn. Okay, so here's the stocking. We're gonna put the hanger on the same side as your heel, because that's how you're gonna hang it. So you wanna make sure that you sew it on the same side as the heel. So you're gonna take the hanger piece, and we're just gonna fold it in half, like so. And we're gonna fold it in half where the ends are even. And then I'm basically just gonna kind of open this piece up here, and we're going to stick it right on that side. So stick it right in the middle of where it bends, like so. And then we're basically just going to take our yarn needle and go through the hanger and through the stocking, and then I just go back and forth or in and out, and do this a few times to attach it to the stocking. Going like around the stitches, so your yarn's going around the stitches. And you can go through it however many times you want to help attach that stocking. That's probably, honestly, that's probably enough. So there, yeah, and you kind of pull it and see, like, yep, so it's not, sometimes if you don't get this part down far enough, it'll kind of want to hang like this, or the bottom wants to stick out. So if you push that hanger down far enough, when you hang it, you pull it, it won't do that, it'll set right. So that, you can just weave your ends in. You want to tie that off, weave your ends in, and that is how easy it is to make this granny stripe stocking. I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and check out my channel for other crochet patterns and tutorials, and happy crocheting, y'all.